Research is our strength to overcome any limitations. Innovation is the guiding vision that drives us towards the future. We cannot face this alone. We must stand together to make our vision a reality. Growing strong upon the land of Nusantara, a magical place filled with miracle and wonder. A land spanning 2 continents and 2 oceans, rich in culture and biodiversity. We and Indonesia are the necessary combination to realize the grand visions of the future. Like an orchestra, BRIN harmonizes research, development, assessment, application, and also synergies, invention, and innovation in Indonesia. We created an ecosystem consisting of 7 deputies, 12 research organizations, and 85 research centers dispersed throughout Indonesia. Research Organization for Aeronautics and Space, Research Organization for Nuclear Energy, Research Organization for Energy and Manufacture, Research Organization for Earth Sciences and Maritime, Research Organization for Life Sciences and Environment, Research Organization for Electronics and Informatics, Research Organization for Social Sciences and Humanities, Research Organization for Archaeology, Language, and Literature, Research Organization for Health, Research Organization for Nanotechnology and Material, Research Organization for Agriculture and Food, Research Organization for Governance, Economy, and Community Welfare. BRIN catalyzing research and innovation to develop an advanced scientific ecosystem in Indonesia with 2 main targets. BRIN realizes the tremendous potential of the nation's youth in the field of science and technology. Thus, various research and innovation policies are being formulated to develop and cultivate human resources with high competence and aptitude in science and technology. Creating many excellent programs is a form of BRIN's commitment to researchers, innovators, and the general population from various disciplines across the nation. The research and innovation ecosystem quality improvement in Indonesia is also realized through the collaboration of various ministries, institutions, domestic industries, and regional governments, to name a few, by forming the Regional Research and Innovation Agency, or RIDA. Moreover, cooperation with various foreign research institutions continue to be developed through active participation as member of various organizations and international forums. BRIN organizes research into a more effective and efficient process by integrating human resources, infrastructure, and budget from various research and development institutions. Oriented by a national research priority, BRIN routinely enacts comprehensive evaluations from various research and development institutions. This effort is supported through the continued management and improvement of various research and innovation facilities located across 17 regions of Indonesia, dedicated towards the development of science and technology. BRIN continues to improve our contribution to research and innovation towards national development by developing and revitalizing 4 areas of science and technology, or KST, and an integrated area consisting of research laboratory facilities, testing laboratories, and industrial facilities for both startups and SMEs. Tenant office rooms, co-working space, meeting rooms, gallery rooms, and other supporting facilities. BRIN is here to manifest the future of a golden Indonesia 2045 by consolidating science and technology resources and creating a resource ecosystem and research-based economical foundation. Transforming Indonesia as a global reference in the development and application of science and technology, practices, and the good of humankind. Nature is the source of inspiration. Knowledge is the foundation, and to be put in praxis for the sake of the nation. Research is our strength to overcome any limitations. Innovation is the guiding vision that drives us towards the future. We cannot face this alone. We must stand together to make our vision a reality. Growing strong upon the land of Nusantara, a magical place filled with miracle and wonder. A land spanning 2 continents and 2 oceans, rich in culture and biodiversity. We and Indonesia are the necessary combination to realize the grand visions of the future. Like an orchestra, BRIN harmonizes research, development, assessment, application, and also synergies, invention, and innovation in Indonesia. We created an ecosystem consisting of 7 deputies, 12 research organizations, and 85 research centers dispersed throughout Indonesia. Research Organization for Aeronautics and Space, Research Organization for Nuclear Energy, Research Organization for Energy and Manufacture, Research Organization for Earth Sciences and Maritime, Research Organization for Life Sciences and Environment, Research Organization for Electronics and Informatics, Research Organization for Social Sciences and Humanities, Research Organization for Archaeology, Language, and Literature, Research Organization for Health, Research Organization for Nanotechnology and Material, Research Organization for Agriculture and Food, Research Organization for Governance, Economy and Community Welfare. BRIN catalyzing research and innovation to develop an advanced scientific ecosystem in Indonesia with two main targets. BRIN realizes the tremendous potential of the nation's youth in the field of science and technology. Thus, various research and innovation policies are being formulated to develop and cultivate human resources with high competence and aptitude in science and technology. Creating many excellent programs is a form of BRIN's commitment to researchers, innovators, and the general population from various disciplines across the nation. The research and innovation ecosystem quality improvement in Indonesia is also realized through the collaboration of various ministries, institutions, domestic industries, and regional governments, to name a few, by forming the Regional Research and Innovation Agency, or RIDA. Moreover, cooperation with various foreign research institutions continue to be developed through active participation as member of various organizations and international forums. BRIN organizes research into a more effective and efficient process by integrating human resources, infrastructure, and budget from various research and development institutions. Oriented by a national research priority, BRIN routinely enacts comprehensive evaluations from various research and development institutions. This effort is supported through the continued management and improvement of various research and innovation facilities located across 17 regions of Indonesia, dedicated towards the development of science and technology. BRIN continues to improve our contribution to research and innovation towards national development by developing and revitalizing 4 areas of science and technology, or KST. An integrated area consisting of research laboratory facilities, testing laboratories, and industrial facilities for both startups and SMEs, tenant office rooms, co-working space, meeting rooms, gallery rooms, and other supporting facilities. BRIN is here to manifest the future of a golden Indonesia 2045 by consolidating science and technology resources and creating a resource ecosystem and research-based economical foundation. Transforming Indonesia as a global reference in the development and application of science and technology practices and the good of humankind. Nature is the source of inspiration. Knowledge is the foundation, and to be put in praxis for the sake of the nation.
Good morning, everyone. From yeah.
Good morning, Dr. Michael Bawa. Dr. Bawa or Dr. Michael? You prefer?
Doctor. Yeah, thanks. I hope
I think you can stop share first. We will open the webinar first. Okay.
good morning, everyone. It's lovely this morning from Ghana here. I'm happy to see you all to join the seminar session. My name is, yeah, it's a lovely morning from Ghana here now. I know by now it should be in the afternoon in Indonesia. Yeah, I'm happy to see you all today and to join the seminar session for my presentation. Yeah, I'll be presenting on cricket and we'll look at the future sustainability.
Sorry, Dr. Bawa. I think we will be in opening session first. Then after
okay.
that, yeah, you will present your presentation.
Okay, yeah, nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Baik, Pak Satrio, izin saya mulai sekarang ya, Pak. Good afternoon, Mr. Ahmad, Mr. Satrio, Mr. Michael, Mrs. Nila, Mrs. Ratna. Thanks for joining today. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. May I have we will begin the webinar. For the convenience during the webinar, please mute your communication device. Thank you. The Honorable, the Head of Research Organization for Agriculture and Food, the National Research and Innovation Agency, in this occasion represented by the Head of Research Center for Applied Technology, Mr. Ahmad Sarifuddin, PhD, Honorable Head of Research Center for Food Technology and Processing, BRIN, Mr. Satrio Frido Wahono, PhD, lecturer at Birmingham City University, UK, Dr. Michael Bawa, Researcher of Research Center for Food Technology and Processing, Dr. Nila Kusumawati, and all participants. My name is Herring. Web National Technology Awakening Day. In this occasion, we will bring up issues about alternative protein can significantly influence human health in several ways, such as reduce risk of antibiotic resistance, improve nutrition by offering increased intake of fiber, and potentially lower risks of cardiovascular disease and certain types of cancer. It can also support food security by providing a sustainable source of protein for a growing global population without over-exploiting resources. Ladies and gentlemen, please be prepared for the first agenda, the National Anthem, Indonesia Raya. Ladies and gentlemen, we will start the webinar with warm introduction by the head of Research Center for Food Technology and Processing BRIN. Please welcome Mr. Satrio Krido Wahono, PhD.
Thank you, Bu Herning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone in Indonesia, and good morning for Dr. Michael. Excellency, Head of Research Organization for Agriculture and Food of BRIN, Dr. Puji Lestari, in this time represented by Dr. Ahmad Sarifuddin as Acting Head of Research Organization. Honorable speakers, Dr. Michael Bawa from University of Birmingham City University and from UK, and Dr. Nila PRTPP BRIN, and also distinguished participant and committee for this international webinar Ngaji Tech Prop number 16. Firstly, I would like to welcome to all of you and send many thanks for attending this international webinar, and also would like to acknowledge for support from all of the committee and all of the participants. So this international webinar can be presented, can be delivered, can be organized very well today, and you can enjoy this international webinar. So as part of my welcoming speech today, I will present introduction of our research center for food technology and processing. Sorry. As the host of this international webinar. This research center has responsibility to create research and innovation related to food technology and food product, also food processing, of course. Since Indonesia has many biodiversity and one of the highest biodiversity country in the world. You can see in here we have so many Sorry for the technical problem with the internet. Okay, I will continue the speech and introduction about Research Center for Food Technology and Processing. Okay, as I mentioned before, that's responsibility for Research Center for Food Technology and Processing is to create the research and innovation related to the food product, especially it's come from the biodiversity resources in Indonesia, because Indonesia is one of the highest country with the highest biodiversity country, and from that resources we can produce many kind of food product. In the last 3 years, so since it's established until now, we have 3 strategic programs. For the first one is food security revitalization, and it's already transformed into functional food program in this year in 2024. And the second one is processed food packaging and preservation, particularly for preserved food more than 6 months. So it's possible to overcome problems in food loss and food waste, and also for support the food security in our country, in Indonesia. And the last one is halal research and innovation. It's not just because Indonesia is one of the biggest Muslim population country. Not only for that, but it's also related with the economical development, tourism, and also another field which is supported by this research, as particularly for halal research. In this research center, we have 135 active researchers, and it's divided into 16 research group which related with food product and food technology, and one of them related to alternative protein engineering technology, which lead by not doctor yet, but still waiting for inauguration, Ratna Ningsih, Master of Science. It will be moderator for our discussion today. And from that researchers, that human resources, we already produce more than 500 international publication in journal, book chapter, proceeding. It's already more 500 international publication, and about around 100 patent already produced in our research center. And some of them also already licensed by industries, such as heterogeneous canned food technology, native chicken egg flour technology, sagu instant noodle, anthocyanin beverage powder, and artisan spirulina cheese. And hopefully in further there are many others patent will be licensed by more industries. And we also support by research facility in Gunung Kidul, Yogyakarta,
Fasilitas riset
Indonesia.
pangan di Pusat Riset Teknologi dan Proses Pangan, Badan Riset dan Inovasi Nasional sebagai laboratorium rujukan riset halal Indonesia, saya nyatakan diresmikan.
Which inaugurated by Indonesian Vice President at 22 April 2022. So from these resources, from research output that we already produced in the last 3 years, we have so many ways to deliver, to transfer of technology to the people. One of the ways is by webinar series, which called Ngaji Tech Prop. Indonesia, it's said that ngaji teknologi dan proses pangan, but in English we can say or we call it review of research, review of food technology and processing, review of food technology and processing. And until the last year, we already has 15 series of Ngaji Tech Prop or webinar series, and in the last year we have one international webinar series. This is the Ngaji Tech Prop number 11 with Chulalongkorn University of Thailand. But this year we will have 4 international webinar series. 2 will be presented today and tomorrow. So today it's about alternative protein, and tomorrow about biotechnology and metabolomic for food. So please, everyone who already joined this international international webinar series, you can also join for the next international webinar series number 17 tomorrow. And we still has another 2 at number 18 and 19. It will be present about between September until November. So please wait on our announcement in social media. So, and welcome for you to join our international webinar in further. And the last one, it's not international webinar, but it's webinar in Bahasa about our implementation research in 2024, our collaboration with the partner or with the stakeholders about research implementation. For this international webinar number 16, why we present about alternative protein, because it's related to our next strategic program in the next 5 years, particularly about one of our focus of research. It's about how to diverse high protein food product. So hopefully with this international webinar, we can get more collaboration, more networking in research about protein alternative, and also give more inspiration and idea for researcher to create some project about alternative protein research. And finally, on behalf of the committee and PRTPP BRIN, I do apologize if there is some inconvenience and shortcoming in this event. And hopefully you can enjoy this webinar and discussion in this webinar, so we can get more perspective, more inspiration, and further collaboration about alternative protein. Thank you very much. PRTPP BRIN, Technology for Food for Future. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Satrio, for the warm introduction. The next agenda is welcome speech from the Head of Research Organization for Agriculture and Food BRIN, and officially open the webinar. The speech will be delivered by the Head of Research Organization for Agriculture and Food BRIN. Please welcome Mr. Ahmad Sarifuddin, PhD.
Oke, thank you. Oke, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon for us in Indonesia and good morning to Dr. Bawa. Our Honorable Dr. Satrio Kridowahono, the Director or the Head of Research Center for Food Technology and Processing, and Honorable, Our Excellency, Dr. Michael Bawa, he is lecturer from Birmingham State University, UK. And the next speaker is Dr. Nila Kusumawati. She is a researcher in the Research Center for Food Technology and Processing. Dear our researchers from BRIN, professors, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, and all participants of this webinar. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Ahmad Sarifuddin. I'm the head of Research Center for Appropriate Technology, and for today, I'm representing our chairman, our chair lady, Dr. Puji Lestari, because she is on duty to the US. But Dr. Puji Lestari, she sent her warmest regards. Also welcome to all speakers and participants of this webinar. Welcome in Bahasa Indonesia, selamat datang, and in Java, Sugeng Rawuh, to the international webinar organized by Research Center for Food Technology and Processing with the topic of alternative proteins and their application in food. Ladies and gentlemen, for today's seminar, in my view, the topic is very, very interesting. Yeah, alternative proteins and their application in food. As we know that protein play very essential and important role in human by providing the building materials, what we call as amino acids. So this amino acid is very, very essential for growth and cell regenerations. Conventional protein, or sometimes we call it animal protein, has historically been the primary source of proteins for humans due to its high caloric contents, protein quality, and also it has so many other good characteristics in terms of processing, of course. So conventionally, we obtained these nutritions by consuming, animal food or animal protein. But recently, we have problem that because the populations are getting increased, of course, and the meat production also increased, of course, but it's not sufficient enough for all of us. Moreover, animal protein sources contribute many issues. For example, some reports says that greenhouse gas emissions, about 40%, is come from the meat productions. So this is kind of environmental issue. Moreover, meat industries also consume many arable lands, fresh water, and also for feed. So in conclusion, in brief, we are facing a lot of issues regarding protein from animal. In the recent years, there are trends how we can replace the conventional protein to alternative proteins, such as we can obtain from tuber, insects, or seaweeds. People believe that by consuming alternative protein, we can help the world to reduce greenhouse effect from the animal husbandry that we know that is contributes to the global warming or climate change. Report also says that alternative protein can slash the emissions by up to 92%. It's very high, especially when we can produce this alternative protein by using what we call as renewable energy. In terms of health benefit, by consuming alternative protein, it can significantly influence the human health in many ways. As mentioned by our MC, it can reduce the potential from antibiotic, improve the nutrition by offering intake of other food sources such as fiber, and it can potentially lower the risk of cardiovascular diseases. So it can also support the food security by providing a sustainable source of proteins for growing of global population without over exploiting resources. Because of this so much benefits of the alternative proteins, I acknowledge the Research Center for Food Technology and Processing, who has organized this international webinar by inviting experts in this area, Dr. Michael Bawa and also Dr. Nila Kusumawati, who will share their expertise, their research, and give us insightful thoughts regarding the alternative protein. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, by reciting Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, I officially open this international webinar. Thank you again to Pak Satrio and his team who organized this webinar. Very good. Wish this international webinar will be successful and benefiting for all of us. Billahi taufiq hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Ahmad. Ladies and gentlemen, we will have the documentation session for all the participants. So please, the host can promote all of us, and please open your video. Please, the host can help to take the picture. Okay, ready? We will take two pictures. The first one, okay, 1, 2, 3, and the next. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Let's move to our main agenda. Let me inform you that today's webinar we will have two speakers. So I can invite our moderator, Mrs. Ratna Ningsih, Master of Agriculture. Let me introduce our moderator first. Mrs. Ratna Ningsih is a researcher at the Research Center for Food Technology and Processing, National Research and Innovation Agency. She graduated her doctoral degree from Katedral University Thailand at 2023. She ever achieved Stanford Elsevier ranking of top 2% top suicide researcher of at 2023. She actively produces peer-reviewed article, intellectual property right, and book chapters. Finally, Mrs. Ratna, time is yours.
Thank you so much, Ms. Herning, for the lovely introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. The Honorable Acting Head of the Research Organization for Agriculture and Food, BRIN, Bapak Ahmad Syarifuddin, PhD, the Honorable Head of the Research Center for Food Technology and Processing, Bapak Satrio Kridowahono, PhD, the speaker, Dr. Michael Bawa and Dr. Nila Kusumawati, the stakeholder, and all participants of this webinar. Good afternoon. Welcome to our international webinar today. Today we have an international webinar Ngaji Tech Prof Series 16 on the topic of alternative protein and their application in food. I try to highlighting what already Pak Ahmad Syarifuddin stated before. Alternative protein have been raising concern all over the world recently. Several factors trigger this phenomenon, like environmental issues such as global warming and also greenhouse gases emission from animal agriculture. Also, awareness of the good health effect of non-animal protein and the growing human population that need more protein and more. So we need to understand more about alternative protein. This is an exciting topic to learn more about. So we are conducting this international webinar. Hopefully we can broaden our knowledge and understanding of alternative protein. And I'm Ratna, and I will be the moderator for this international webinar. Okay, today we will have presentation session and followed by the question and answer session. For the presentation session, we have two speakers already. First speaker is Dr. Michael Bawa with the topic of cricket protein, its advantages, processing, application, and food product, and the opportunities for its development in the future. And the second speaker is Dr. Nila Kusumawati with the topic of cookies from tempe semangit as indigenous high protein supplementation food for pregnant women. Before we start the webinar, I would like to inform you about the regulation of this webinar. If you have any question about the topic or related to the topic, you could click the raise hand panel on your screen and directly talk to the speaker if you join by Zoom. And you can also write your question on the chat box. And if you enter via YouTube, you can also put your comment on the comment box. So let's start the presentation session. We already have our first speaker, Dr. Michael Bawa, for the first presentation. Dr. Michael Bawa, are you with us?
I'm with you. Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, for the introduction. Yeah.
Good morning.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
good morning. All. Yeah. I think the
Before,
introduction has been.
yeah,
Yeah. You've
before,
already shared. Okay.
before you present your topic, let me read your curriculum vitae first. Dr. Michael Bawa is a lecturer at Birmingham City University, and he graduated from the University of Development Studies, Ghana, with a bachelor degree, the University of Westminster, UK, for master degree, and Kasat University, Thailand, with a doctoral degree in food science. And he has already researched and published several papers on cricket protein and edible insects. So, Dr. Michael Bawa, you have about 15 minutes to deliver your topic, and time and screen are yours.
Yeah, thanks for the introduction. So I'll now share my slides with you. So my topic is about cricket protein. I also talk about processing protocol and application of cricket powder in food. My presentation outline will feature an introduction section where I'll discuss the importance of cricket powder in relation to its nutritional value and also economic importance of rearing cricket. Also talk about two major crickets, and then further discuss cricket processing protocol, and then subsequently application of cricket powder in food and food products. So, cricket are sustainable source of food because they provide high nutritional value compared to other widely consumed meats such as chicken, cow, and beef. And also they have less environmental footprint. It means they release less or contribute less to greenhouse gases, which always contribute to climate changes and harsh environmental conditions. Now, cricket are also good sources of vitamins and minerals In this way, they can be used to enhance dietary nutrition and reduce the risks of chronic dietary-related diseases such as obesity, hypertension, and stroke, which is prevalent in present times. So this graph represents the nutritional composition of cricket compared to widely consumed meat, which is chicken and beef. So when we look at the protein value, we can see cricket is high. And then we also look at the energy value. So here we can see cricket is also very, very high with the energy value here. And we have the energy, we have the chicken. And then when we also talk about the N-omega-3 fatty acid, we can see cricket is also at the top, and then the iron content. Normally with dietary protein, we are not able to get a sustainable source, and the cricket represents a sustainable protein content. It has to do with our dietary composition, a balanced diet, which is not always of the right amount in terms of protein carbohydrate ratio, and then this leads to dietary related diseases such as obesity, which is prevalent even currently in developing countries. This used to be an issue of developed country where they have enough to eat and commercialize food product. So the idea is, why cricket when we can commercialize chicken and beef? We also don't want to intensify production of chicken and beef, which are not healthy meat compared to chicken. And we also bear in mind that these also have environmental impact in terms of CO2 that they release. So why don't we promote sustainable sources of food or meat? This is why present time global emphasis has been placed on cricket production or alternative protein sources. So basically, there are two types of cricket that are used in food products or that consumers prefer, and these are the Gryllus vermiculatus and Achita domesticus. So you see the key features, this black spotted, and then this with no spot. This is basically the common name. So cricket processing obviously has to do with rinsing. And then we have this picture of the cricket in microwave. So I will explain further the parameters in the subsequent slides. And then this oven, and then blending. So we can produce these at the various homes using not expensive equipment such as blender and then microwave, and even a small oven can probably get the cricket process into powder. So basically, the cricket processing starts with the harvesting of the cricket. So this is a picture of me harvesting the cricket and also rinsing and washing. Now, after the cricket has been harvested and processed in powder, now those interested in commercialized cricket and producing cricket must also meet regulatory requirement. Regulatory requirement requires that certain nutritional composition, such as including plasmid composition and microbiological load, which includes aerobic plate count, and should be determined and noted. This is to ensure consumer safety. So here, cricket processing, this is a sample of the research I conducted. Here, the cricket were dried with an oven, and through these parameters, 80 degrees C and 70 degrees C, as well as 60 degrees C. Now, with regards to the oven dried cricket powder, it was observed that the samples that were dried through these parameters, 80 degrees C at 24 minutes, resulted in an improved color parameters and also microbiological load. this is probably due to the high temperature which was utilized and the short duration which enhanced the color parameters, and the high temperature which is able to probably reduce the microbiological load to the threshold that is acceptable. So we can see the graph of the drying mechanics. Now with microwave drying crickets, now the crickets were dry utilizing different watts. So we have 60 watts, 600 watts, we also have 720 watts and 840 power level. Now cricket can also be dried using a domestic microwave. This is a domestic microwave drying. Now they can also be dried using a commercial microwave, which has a conveyor and a belt. Now the cricket dried via the 600 watts for 10 minutes resulted in improved sensory color parameters. With regards to all the color parameters, they showed lighter, and consumer acceptance for this sample was very, very high. So I do recommend that cricket should be dried using low power, which includes the 600 watts at 10 minutes. So this is a drying mechanism. And also, it also resulted in improved microbiological load, because when the microbiological load was analyzed, was quantified, and compared with the other parameters involved, the 600 and 720 watts and the 840 watts, those dry at 600 watts were found to be comparable to those at higher, and therefore cricket should be dry at the 600 watts since it resulted in high or the improved color. Now, cricket can also be applied in food products. So food products including bread and cookies. Now, with my experience of several research that have conducted regards to product development and incorporating cricket powder into food product. Now, cricket can only be applied or incorporated at 10% level, and they can also be more than that with optimized formulation, but those are found to have comparable taste is at the 10% level, and also with both bread and cookies. And then we have the cricket powder. Now, the reason is that the wheat flour, which contains the gluten and gliadin protein, we know that this is responsible for the elastic nature of the bread and as well as cookies, and gives its taste. So when you are replacing them, it results in product deterioration, and then the sensory parameters also reduce. And for this reason, for several experiments that I have conducted, I have only been able to apply cricket in flour or in food product at 10% level of the flour. So however, optimized products can also go beyond more. Now, conclusion. What I conclude is that cricket is a sustainable source of protein. And as I have a say, that why do we need to promote cricket and not beef, chicken when people want to eat? Now, present times, chronic dietary related disease is very prevalent. Related disease such as stroke, hypertension, and even malnutrition. Now, the reason that we focus on the production or government of food that are not healthy, such as the beef and the chicken, because these are not healthy food sources in terms of nutritional composition, wherein the cricket has high nutrient value impact, especially with the high protein content. This can help us to reduce the number of people who are suffering from chronic related diseases. Now, we also promoting healthy food sources such as the beef and the chicken more. It means people who have easily access to it, and even now, easy access to such food is very difficult because of the harsh environmental condition that we are in, and we find it very difficult to produce or commercialize. And the only way out is depletion of the environment, and this results in environmental sustainability issues. So in future terms, the cricket can be commercialized, means farm on a large scales. Large scale farming may benefit a lot of farmers, and a lot of income can be generated from it. People are already making a lot of money. I have established contact with farmers in Thailand. They make a lot of money from farming cricket. And cricket also in climate change can also help us to mitigate the impact of climate change. Now, climate change has several factors, which include depletion of the environment to farm a lot of food for humans and also to feed the sheep and cattle, because most of them even eat more than the animals. So sometimes you need to farm maize, clear the land, a lot of more acres to farm fish and also meat and cow. And this also contribute to environmental gases and then climate change. So cricket eats less. And if we want to farm cricket, and it means we need to just not clear huge source of land so that we can have a lot of feed to feed the cow and the chicken, and this will also save us. And also in terms of the nutritional composition, because if cricket are alternative, they should be able to replace the traditional meats and also deliver the best nutritional value. So that's what the cricket powder does. It provides the nutritional value that we need and also save our environment. So I think the alternative way is to commercialize cricket production, and that it will help us to solve the global malnutrition, and especially the chronic dietary related diseases that is now prevalent in all countries. It's not an issue of a pandemic. The only way out is for us to create awareness and let people know about the wider impact of what they do or about the food system. So I will now bring my presentation to an end, and I say thank you all for your attention. And if there are any further questions, thanks.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Michael Bawa, for a lovely presentation. And let's move to the next speaker. Please stop share screen, Dr. Michael Bawa.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Let's go to next speaker, Dr. Nila Kusumawati. Are you already with us, Dr. Nila Kusumawati? Mbak Nila?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Before you present your topic, let me read your curriculum vitae first. Dr. Nila Kusumawati is a researcher at Research Center for Food Technology and Processing, BRIN. She graduated from Adalah University for her bachelor degree and IPB University for her master and doctoral degree. And she has already researched and published several papers on, especially on tempeh semangit protein. So, Dr. Nila Kusumawati, you have about 15 minutes to deliver your topic, and time and screen are yours.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Ratna, as moderator. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, everyone. It is great honor and privilege for me to welcome you all to this highly anticipated international webinar section Najitech Prop section 16. Today we gather virtually to explore the exciting and transformative work of the alternative protein and their application in food. Firstly, I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to BRIN Indonesia for organizing this insightful event and providing us with a platform to share knowledge and discussing about innovation in food technology. A special thanks to our esteemed speaker and the lovely moderator, whose expertise and insight will adaptly enrich our understanding and alternative protein. Recent years, the search for sustainable and nutritious food source has become more critical than ever as the global population continues to grow. So does the demand for protein-rich foods. Welcome the keynote speaker. We are privileged to have with us Mrs. Puji Lestari as the chairman of Research Organization for Agriculture and Food BRIN. In this afternoon, represented by Dr. Ahmad Syarifuddin MS as acting head of Research Center for Pursuit of Technology, Dr. Satria Kridowahono as head of Research Center for Food Technology and Processing. My presentation this afternoon was the result of my PhD program at IPB University. Okay, without further ado, I will share my screen now. Okay. Let's. Okay, the title I'm going to bring is the cookies from Tempe Semangit as indigenous high protein supplementation food for pregnant women. The introduction, the prevalence of pregnant women with CED or chronic energy deficiency in Indonesia is 17.3%. Is based on the health survey of Indonesia. The prevalence of pregnant women with CED in Banten, one of the province in Indonesia, is about 18% based on the health survey of Indonesia. Data on stunting in toddler in Indonesia from 2013 until 2021 is slightly decreased from 37.2 until the 24.4%. The number of stunted toddler in Banten is 219.86 toddler based on data SSGI 2021. Okay. Pregnant women with CED or chronic energy deficiency become anemia. As you know, the chronic energy deficiency can decrease in metabolic activity, decrease in oxygen intake in the kidneys, disturb erythropoietin hormone production, and reduce blood cell production. A physiological condition can deteriorate easily: fatigue, loss of energy, potential to give, low birth weight, and stunted babies. So therefore, nutritional support in the form of supplementary food from Tempe Semangit. Tempe Semangit is a potential as supplementary food for pregnant women to prevent stunting. This is the commodity that I want to share, and by the title of my research PhD student is about overripe tempe. Overripe tempe, or we know as Tempe Semangit in West Java, is a local wisdom. As we know that sambal tumpang, nasi rames, and nasi gudeg is famous in West Java. The common product, the common commodity used in the variety of the cuisine is using overripe tempe or tempe semangit. Amino acid composition during fermentation based on honey 2015, because the small peptide or amino acid fragment in the tempe is become break into the glutamic acid and the alanine. The special amino acid that contained in tempe is the L-glutamic acid. Tempe semangit overripe tempe is a local high protein food. Its content protein is about 19.72%, fat is about 26.17%, and carbohydrate is about 43.13%. And then tempe semangit flour contain the several micro minerals such as macro and micro minerals such as ferric Fa is about 3.4079 milligram per 100 grams, Zn 1.385% milligram per 100 gram, calcium is about 150.392 milligram per 100 gram. Making tempe semangit flour is a modification Astawan 2016 and Kusumawati in 2020, where the tempe semangit flour can enhance nutritional value because the higher amino acid composition, the glutamic acid in overripe tempe can compare to fresh tempe and soybean. And beside the enhanced nutritional value, the safety of food processing in tempe semangit, the processing of tempe semangit into cookies can be eliminated by food processing with using oven drying can help reduce excessive bacterial activity. This is research method where research design is research quasi-experimental with pre-test and post-test with control group design. The places of the research is the study was conducted in 7 health center in Lebak, Banten, Warunggunung Health Center, Mandala Health Center, Cibadak Health Center, Kolewet Health Center, Mekarsari Health Center, Karanganyar Health Center, and Baros Health Center. The subjects are used in this research is pregnant woman with CED or chronic energy deficiency who met the inclusion criteria. Pregnant women in the late second trimester who were willing to participate in the study and signed an informed consent were screened. The protocol of the study was approved by Institute for Research and Community Service ITB University. Okay, there are 3 big research steps in this. My research is the first stage is production of tempe semangit flour, where there is a characterization of amino acid composition, nutritional value, and BCAA or branched chain amino acid. The second stage is making tempe semangit cookies. Contain the several activities like characterization, nutritionist, and organoleptic and mineral content. The third stage is efficacy study, where supplementation feeding or PMT, tempe semangit cookies for pregnant women with chronic energy deficiency. The measurements, anthropometric, sociodemography, HB, serum ferritin, middle upper circumference, and outcome the baby's weight, birth length, and baby head circumference. Here the amino acid composition between fresh tempe and overripe tempe. In the analyzing using amino acid, the amino acid can be contribute as the bitter taste came from histidine and leucine. The slide we can see that amino acid from histidine is after 48 hours until 120 hours, there is slightly increase about the composition of the histidine as the bigger component to make the bitter taste in the tempe semangit or overripe tempe. Tempe semangit flour has more types of essential amino acid with higher content. This is the amino acid composition between fresh tempe and overripe tempe in non-essential group, when the alanine group and the glutamic acid is make taste sweet from tempe. The umami taste came from the glutamic acid. The umami taste came from the enzymatic hydrolysis of the tempe semangit peptide. This is about the digestibility protein of tempe semangit flour, where is the amino acid from the sulfur, it's contain methionine and cysteine for about 64.4% scoring of amino acid. Yeah, this is a nutritional content of tempe semangit cookies is about cookies control, whereas the cookies is not, I didn't give tempe semangit flour, and the CTSG is a brief of cookies tempe semangit chocolate, and the CTSK is cookies tempe semangit keju. The total energy between the control cookies tempe semangit chocolate and cookies tempe semangit keju is more, there is not significantly in total energy, and the protein between the control cookies and the tempe semangit cookies is more increase in cookies tempe semangit. Even the chocolate and the cheddar flavor I give in the tempe flour. So where in the cookies tempe semangit of chocolate is about 14.605%, and also the 16.01% in cookies tempe semangit keju. The nutrition content of the cookies tempe semangit and supplementary feeding for pregnant women. In the left picture is the supplementary feeding from Ministry of Health of Republic of Indonesia, and the left in the right picture is my cookies tempe semangit or cookies overripe. The supplementary feeding for pregnant women based on Ministry of Health of Indonesia, the protein if we compare with the protein from cookies tempe semangit, is no different. It's also the same composition, the protein between the supplementary feeding from Kemenkes and supplementary feeding from tempe semangit cookies. Also, the total energy is not significantly different from Kemenkes cookies with cookies tempe semangit.
Dr. Nila, please be faster.
Okay, thank you. This is BCAA content of tempe semangit 4. You can see in my slide. This is the organoleptic cookies tempe semangit, the acceptance of cookies tempe semangit. This is the appearance of cookies from control and using floor of tempe semangit. This is the distribution based on the biomarker and nutrition status in the control and intervention group for over 12 weeks. This is nutritional status of pregnant women during the 12 weeks intervention period, body weight, serum ferritin, HB, and EMT from the cookies control and cookies in the group of control and the group of intervention is not significantly different. This is another analysis UNCOVA. This is the indicator of nutritional status of between body weight and MUAC. Okay, UNCOVA of hemoglobin and serum ferritin. There is no significantly different between the control group and intervention. This is the intake and adequacy level between the control and the intervention cookies. The decreased serum ferritin level may reflect the decrease of iron store and may be due to an associated nutritional deficiency condition. This is the compliance test. Compliance test. The average compliance rate for consuming tempe semangit cookies is about 77.3% and control cookies is about 90.1%. This is the was no significant difference in birth outcome. The result of the measurement of the baby weight, baby height, and heart circumference on the first day showed no difference between the control cookies group and the Gallagher cookies group based on ILMI 2021. So this is the conclusion and recommendation. The first, the nutritional benefit. Tempe semangit cookies are rich in protein and mineral, providing significant nutritional value. They contain high level and both essential and non-essential amino acid, making them beneficial dietary supplement. The second, health impact. Regular consumption of tempe semangit cookies can improve the nutritional status of pregnant women suffering from chronic energy deficiency. The third is preventing stunting by improving the nutritional impact of pregnant women. Tempe semangit cookies can help in preventing the birth of stunted babies, addressing a critical public health issue. This is the recommendation from this research is the in vivo analysis of the benefit of tempe semangit cookies needs to be conducted as well as measuring the bioactive component of tempe semangit flour so that complete information about the functional properties of tempe semangit can be obtained. The second is further research is expected to show that consuming tempe semangit cookies can provide added value as a functional ingredient for weight gain in pregnant women with CED. The third is future research is suggested to compare with government supplementary feeding cookies as well, so that their impact on the nutritional status indicator of subject and outcome can be seen. Therefore, further, the research on the addition of tempeh milk flour to the cookie formula is needed to improve nutritional content according to the amino acid content in the cookies. The latest is tempeh milk cookies have a potential to become an alternative product in the plant-based fermented protein product development industry and as a flavor enhancer.
Okay, Mbak Nila,
Okay.
time is up.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Ratna. I stop my share.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nila Kusumawati, for the exciting topic. Let us move to the question and answer session. For this session, if you have any question, you can click and raise hand panel on the screen and talk directly to the speaker, or you can also write the question on the chat box. Is there anyone who want to ask directly to the speaker? No. Okay, on the chat box, there are already questions from Mr. Nurfianto, and the question goes to Dr. Michael Bawa. The first question is how the sensory and metabolite profile from cricket powder. And second question, what are the prospects for insect farming development in the UK and Europe? And the regulation governing it both for animal feed and human consumption. And the third, how the food safety aspect of insect when harvested wild, for example, in Yogyakarta, Indonesia, with fried grasshopper. Thank you. It goes to Dr. Michael.
Yeah, thank you for the questions. So I will now take the questions. Now, with regards to food safety, now there has been several research about the microbiological load of edible insects, some in Belgium and other places also in the US. Several researchers have done that, and I have also analyzed the microbiological load of several insects. Now, the microbiological load of insects is the same for every food. So all foods that we eat have microbiological load, but we expect them to be within the threshold. Now, if it has to do with commercializing and farming of insects, therefore, the microbiological load will have the same level as that of any food that we eat. The only issue we need to do, because there has been evidence in some of my articles that I have published, and I think there have been references provided at the bottom of my slides. If you could please have a look at the references, you see some articles about microbiological load of insects, specifically the cricket. Then it was observed that it is within the threshold, lower than the threshold that is acceptable for intake for humans. So the issue now has to do with the processing and putting in place effective HACCP system to ensure that the insects are processed. Because in time past, most of the insect processing go traditional, and they were processed in the opening market is places that are not hygienic. So because of the awareness of the nutritional value of insect, if they are processed, because several countries also have protocols and regulatory structure to regulate the processing of insect. So, for example, in Thailand, where we have the food standard safety regulation that applies, and also in the UK here, we have a lot of food safety standard that applies to regulate the commercialization and the production of insect. And actually, these are policies, food safety and policy. So which means compliance, or people probably applying the regulation protocol to ensure consumer safety is high. So the safety of insect should not be an issue. Then, please, is there any, what are the other questions?
Wait. What are the prospects for insect farming development in UK and European country, and the regulation governing to both for animal feed and also human consumption?
So for the prospect of insect as feed in the UK here is very, very high. The only hindrance is the perception that we have about insect, and it starts by creating awareness. For example, and governments, we spend a lot of money, or government also probably give grants to farmers to clear large piece of land in an effort to feed animals and also human. Now, we also understand the wider impact in everything that we do, that clearing lands and probably trees and deforestation to feed animals even more, because some of the animals like sheep and cow, they eat a lot, and these utterly overgraze the land. So if you are clearing land to farm and feed them, then we are putting more impact. Then the protein that we intend to get from these animals, we can get the same quality protein in cricket. So why not the cricket? And also fish farming also has to do with the use of the water bodies, and probably some gets contaminated. And why not insect? So we can get this protein from insect, but the situation has to do with it being controlled under policies. And I think we already have a lot of data regarding the microbiological, because we got with the UK and the Europe has to do with evidence-based profession. This means before anything can be put into practice, there should be evidence. Now, insect consumption has been a thing of the past, and now we have a lot of data or evidence to show that insect are safe, and they hold the same microbiological load as any other food. So because of this evidence, and also the food safety regulation also make for food can also be applied to edible insect, and any processing protocol which has for including HACCP system can also be applied to insect. Now in the UK and Europe, commercialization and the consumption of edible insect, though there's no law that is against the consumption of edible insect in Europe, is now the situation is that of researchers trying to promote and creating an establishment with policymakers and the food standards, and showing them the evidence that we have, so that insect farming can be commercialized. It's actually a huge prospect, because if you look at, for example, as feed for poultry, if we look at the poultry feed in the UK, for example, the protein content is very, very low, and therefore this leads to a very low quality of the poultry meat. So we can see the poultry meat in the UK full of a lot of saturated fat. But if we are able to commercialize the insect and then apply the insect powder in the formulation of this poultry meat or feeding poultry, it means we'll now have a poultry meat with less fat content. with less fat content, and also it will be very, very tasty. So insect holds a huge prospect in Europe, including the UK. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Michael Bawa.
You're welcome.
Let's continue. So
Yes.
many questions on the chat box, and let's continue. There are questions for Dr. Nila Kusumawati.
I've seen one here. Are there any allergens in cricket? Yes. The allergen in cricket is that of the histamine, which is also found in shellfish and fish. So people who are allergic to this should also be allergic to, because of the exoskeleton, and this is also seen in the shellfish and other crustaceans. So it's the same, which is the histamine. And however, regulation requires that any allergen be declared. So once we are interested in commercializing, then there should be a label that will clearly state the allergen. And this is not a food safety issue. Just like in any other food, we have the label that clearly states or speculate that this is the allergen. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Okay, next to the next question for Dr. Nila. There are questions from Bapak Nurfianto. Wow, so many. Bapak Nurfianto asked about what is the sensory and metabolite profile of raw tempe semangit and when it has been processed into flour and cookies. And there are also questions from Ibu Erliana Ginting and Ibu Heni Purwaningsih. I think it's almost same. Tempe semangit normally has very strong odor, which can be disliked by people who are not familiar with. Do you think this aspect would be a constraint in introducing the overripe tempe cookies to pregnant women in outside Java? And from Ibu Heni Purwaningsih, also goes to Dr. Nila, how to reduce the unpleasant odor of semangit tempe? How about the cookies produced? Are they liked by the panelists or consumer? Okay, Mbak Nila, please.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Baratna. I want to answer the question from Ibu Dr. Heni. The masking and unpleasant aftertaste of the cookies tempe semangit. Okay, in my research study, I masked the unpleasant aftertaste, the bitter from tempe semangit with using flavor masking agent like natural and artificial flavor. By adding natural or artificial flavor can help and masking the bitter or the beanie aftertaste with the associate with plant-based protein. I use the chocolate powder and the cheese to masking the unpleasant aftertaste from the semangit flour. And the others, maybe we can make the process of encapsulation, because the process micro encapsulation from the plant protein powder. As you know, the plant protein powder is more degrees than the animal protein. So the encapsulating plant protein powder with lipid or other material can reduce to mask the unpleasant taste and protect the protein from degradation. Maybe it can be the second question from Ibu Erliana Ginting. How the challenges and willingness about the consumption of cookies tempe semangit for pregnant women. In my research, I use the Sundanese culture. So as we know that Sundanese culture is differently with the culture from Java. So the cultural acceptance in some culture is two fermented food like tempe maybe is not same like tempe may not commonly consumed or commonly accepted by Sundanese, but to get to the willingness of the consumption of tempe cookies for pregnant women, maybe I use the taste preference before. For the first time, I using the taste of preferences. The pregnant woman might have specific taste preference, and with normal woman, or we are in the this webinar, so it can be effect about their willingness to consume the tempe cookies semangit. In the slide, in my research, the compliant test in the cookies tempe is more than 50%, but lower than the normal or contra cookies. So maybe the texture and the smell of the cookies tempe semangit it may not be appealing to all the pregnant women. So maybe it's can influencing the consumption. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mbak Nila. I would like to offer the panelists who want to ask directly. So please click the raise hand feature. You can go to the feature reaction and on the bottom of the screen. Then you can click or unmute the speaker, and you can also ask directly to the speaker, please. Is there any? No one want to ask directly? Okay. So I will read other question from, wait a minute. From Ninggar. This question goes to Dr. Michael Bauer. The main challenge with edible insect is the low consumer acceptance due to their bitter taste and unpleasant aftertaste, especially at higher concentration. How could be a potential solution to address this issue?
So first, for the acceptability is most of the times that is the challenge. But as researchers and as educators, what we need to do is to create awareness and tell people about the nutritional benefits of edible insect. And most of the time with the taste, that has to do with the processing protocol. For example, if the crickets are not well refrigerated and are not properly harvested, because prior to harvesting cricket, you always need to starve them for 24 hours to empty their gut. So you can also confirm and look at different probably starving crickets and then processing starved cricket and unstarved cricket into powder and see if this will influence the taste or not. Yes, of course it does. So crickets, they have very nice taste when processed into powder. I have processed a lot into powder, particularly the Achita domesticus, which is the house cricket. So the smell always has to do with the processing protocol, the cricket not being properly processed, and also has to do, yes. So if that, and also probably has to do whether the cricket is well refrigerated or not, and probably if it is spoiling or not. So as I said, in time past, the production of cricket were not controlled. And if you don't control the food production system, then you give the chance for people with vested interest in commercializing or making profit to come in and probably do anything and give us anything to eat. So yes, they really have. So if you want cricket with an enhanced sensory parameter, smell, in particular smell and taste that people, consumers will accept more, because obviously when you take cricket, or cricket are nutrition, but however, it has a bad taste, then this would not enhance sensory nutrition. It means consumers are not going to buy the idea, and therefore we have to get a very good taste. And that's why sometimes we want to max the consumption of whole cricket and then process cricket into powder and then apply in food product where consumers are more likely to accept. Yes. So it has to do with your processing protocol. If you have a very good HACCP system, follow a very good protocol, then you should have your cricket taste improved. And also has to do with the processing parameters. During my presentation, I've highlighted some processing parameters which you could look at in my slide presentation. And then I also highlighted the efficient processing parameter. So if this is done, you now have the cricket bent and color deterioration, as well as the taste being significantly impacted. If you utilize the effective processing system, so it has to do with the taste that's associated with an effective processing parameter, and also the taste that is associated with an effective HACCP system being put in place. That's it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And I think this is the last question for our webinar. And this question also goes to Dr. Michael Bawa. This question from Pak Sandi. I was wondering, can we blend the insect protein such as cricket or other insect as food ingredient? And how does the functional properties of this blend protein?
Yes, obviously, cricket can be blended into powder using domestic blender. I always use domestic blender, especially the heavy duty one. Of course, if you take a look at my slide presentation, you see some blender. That was the one I used. Yes, you can process it to have as functional ingredient because of the high protein that they contain, and that will also go a long way to correct some nutritional issues or chronic dietary related issues, because at most of the chronic dietary related issues, you need high protein, and also with most, not only high protein, but also contain vitamins and nutrients. And currently there has been heavy dependent on supplement. Everyone is taking supplement, and now the drug or pharmaceutical industry, they will not tell us the truth. Well, you can get all these things from the food that we eat. So instead of relying on synthetic supplement, why not the cricket? Because these synthetic supplements, in a way, are not sustainable. They are very, very, very expensive. Most of the time, the supplements out there that are not expensive are not effective. But the expensive one that can cost you like £10 or £8, the layman cannot buy this, because if you convert £8 or £10 or sometimes £20, it's very, very expensive. So one, they are very expensive, they are not sustainable, and also have side effects. So why don't we process the cricket, blend it into powder, try to have a functional product from them, and see how we can ensure that population have enough access to nutrition. Yes, that's it.
Okay, thank you. I think the question and answer session finished already, but actually I still have one more question for Michael, for Dr. Michael Bawa. I'm very curious because Indonesia is a Muslim country, and a majority of us is Muslim. So I think it's crucial to ask, is it halal cricket protein, and also how about the implementation of cricket protein on the food? Is it halal?
Yeah, I'm also coming from a Muslim Christian family. So that's why I'm Bawa. The Bawa is my father's name, and Michael is my Christian name. So I don't think it's halal, because as a sallallahu ala Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and as Allah's deem it, is halal is anything that you take that will harm you. And from the prophet perspective, is any doing or any food that you eat, just like the pork. I know the pork obviously is halal, because when you eat a lot of pork, so that's why we always have to, even from the Islamic halal of the pork, it tells us that we need to promote healthy food choices. So the prophet at that time were even promoting healthy food choices, because the pork meat, what it has to do is that sometimes people eat a lot of pork and they are sick. So the problem is that, well, you are eating pork and pork is not good, so it becomes an halal. But if you promote healthy food choices, people have access to healthy food choices, that is not it. No one will get sick for consuming cricket. So it's not, yeah, so it's a very good nutritional food sources that can be promoted. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You are
Thank you
welcome.
very much for all of speaker. We are already at the end of our session, and I want try to conclude our webinar today. As an alternative protein sources, we can utilize edible insects such as cricket or also grasshopper. And for plant-based protein sources, we can also consume such as protein and even tempe semangit, tempe or even tempe semangit. And these have the potential to be good source of protein with adequate nutrition. So thank you to all the speakers for the lovely presentation. Please give them virtual applause. And hopefully we can still conduct collaboration project in the future. Thank you very much. Bye, and see you at the
Bye-bye.
next webinar. And time back to Miss MC, Miss Herning.
Yeah, bye.
Okay,
Bye-bye, everyone.
thank you,
Bye.
Mrs. Ratna, moderator for our session, and to our wonderful speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, finally we come to the end of the webinar. We would like to award certificate of appreciation to the speakers, and please the host to display the certificate. Certificate of appreciation as a guest speaker in international webinar series Ngaji Tech Pro for Dr. Nila Kusumawati. Please give virtual applause for them. Okay. And then next. Certificate of appreciation as a key speaker in international webinar series Ngaji Tech Pro for Dr. Michael Bawa, PhD. Thank you for your valuable contribution today, and please give virtual applause for Dr. Michael Bawa. Thank you. We will send to your email soon.
Thank you all. Bye-bye. Have a lovely day.
Bye-bye.
Assalamu alaikum. Yeah.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you. Thank you, Mbak Herning.
Yeah. Thank you, Mrs.
Thank you, Mbak
Ratna.
Herning, Mbak
Yeah.
Ratna.
Finally, we will like to say thank you for spending your time with us today and all the active participation. Thank you for the speakers, moderator, the committee, and the last but not least to the participant. Finally, we would like apologize for the inconvenient matter during the webinar. Thank you for your attention and see you to the next webinar. Thank you all.
Research is our strength to overcome any limitations. Innovation is the guiding vision that drives us towards the future. We cannot face this alone. We must stand together to make our vision a reality. Growing strong upon the land of Nusantara, a magical place filled with miracle and wonder. A land spanning 2 continents and 2 oceans, rich in culture and biodiversity. We and Indonesia are the necessary combination to realize the grand visions of the future. Like an orchestra, BRIN harmonizes research, development, assessment, application, and also synergies, invention, and innovation in Indonesia. We created an ecosystem consisting of 7 deputies, 12 research organizations, and 85 research centers dispersed throughout Indonesia. Research Organization for Aeronautics and Space, Research Organization for Nuclear Energy, Research Organization for Energy and Manufacture, Research Organization for Earth Sciences and Maritime, Research Organization for Life Sciences and Environment, Research Organization for Electronics and Informatics, Research Organization for Social Sciences and Humanities, Research Organization for Archaeology, Language, and Literature, Research Organization for Health, Research Organization for Nanotechnology and Material, Research Organization for Agriculture and Food, Research Organization for Governance, Economy, and Community Welfare. BRIN catalyzing research and innovation to develop an advanced scientific ecosystem in Indonesia with 2 main targets. BRIN realizes the tremendous potential of the nation's youth in the field of science and technology. Thus, various research and innovation policies are being formulated to develop and cultivate human resources with high competence and aptitude in science and technology. Creating many excellent programs is a form of BRIN's commitment to researchers, innovators, and the general population from various disciplines across the nation. The research and innovation ecosystem quality improvement in Indonesia is also realized through the collaboration of various ministries, institutions, domestic industries, and regional governments, to name a few, by forming the Regional Research and Innovation Agency, or RIDA. Moreover, cooperation with various foreign research institutions continue to be developed through active participation as member of various organizations and international forums. BRIN organizes research into a more effective and efficient process, by integrating human resources, infrastructure, and budget from various research and development institutions. Oriented by a national research priority, BRIN routinely enacts comprehensive evaluations from various research and development institutions. This effort is supported through the continued management and improvement of various research and innovation facilities located across 17 regions of Indonesia, dedicated towards the development of science and technology. BRIN continues to improve our contribution to research and innovation towards national development by developing and revitalizing 4 areas of science and technology, or KST. An integrated area consisting of research laboratory facilities, testing laboratories, and industrial facilities for both startups and SMEs, tenant office rooms, co-working space, meeting rooms, gallery rooms, and other supporting facilities. BRIN is here to manifest the future of a golden Indonesia 2045 by consolidating science and technology resources and creating a resource ecosystem and research-based economical foundation. Transforming Indonesia as a global reference in the development and application of science and technology, practices, and the good of humankind. Nature is the source of inspiration. Knowledge is the foundation, and to be put in praxis for the sake of the nation.